How about that weather? Hot. This is another episode of the Flight Ringers podcast. I'm David King. That's Dan Spottswood.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
We are professional cartoonists, and we are Legion of Superheroes experts. This is our summer special chat episode, Flight Ringers. I was like digging around. I'm like trying to get some electronic waste together to take it away. You know, like I got an air cleaner that crapped out and a bunch of batteries. I'm like, yeah, we'll take all this, take this old paint and stuff that was in the house when I got here.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was cleaning out the garage, I pulled out this old cell phone, you know, and it's like, you know, they have that rubber coating on phones now that like after 5 years, it gets all sticky and disgusting.
Oh, yeah. What is that sticky shit? It's like it's breaking back down into oil or something. I don't. Do you have any idea what it is?
I guess that's it. Yeah, I don't know.
That stuff is impossible to clean up too if it gets on other things.
A while back, I found like my first smartphone, which was
Mm-hmm.
it was cool. I kind of liked it, but it had that rubbery stuff on it, and it was just so gummy and sticky. And I think I wiped it down with alcohol just so I could even hold it. You know, and it's bad. Like there's so much of that shit in the world,
right?
You know, it's poison.
It's in your cells.
Yeah,
your lungs.
Even when I like touch a thing that's brand new that has that on there, I'm like, I know what this is going to be like in like not even very long, 4 years from now, you know?
Have you ever noticed any like print on demand, like comics, like kind of like perfect bound graphic novel things that have that kind of feeling on the cover? Like it feels oily almost.
I have.
The fuck is that?
I don't know.
Is it because it's not a very porous surface and the toner is just laying on top of plastic or something? Or the toner is plastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Toner is plastic. I mean, yeah, toner, like the old black and white stuff. Is that even called toner? I guess it is. I don't think that stuff is quite as like much like plastic. It's like carbon, some kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the color Xerox, that is just straight up powdered plastic.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know like I feel like I've felt books they're maybe offset somehow even. And maybe it's the paper that feels like that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
It's almost greasy. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Did it not cook long enough?
On-demand printing stuff probably is really bad for the environment.
But
it's super fast and you can do one book.
Yeah. I wonder, someone's probably done the math on it. Like, just how much is the junk mail alone setting us back?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot. Probably people throw more of that away paper-wise than anything else, or recycle it at least.
Yeah, I think there's rules that the junk mail all has to actually be recyclable. I don't know if people follow those rules, but like if I get a whole envelope that I know it's junk mail, I put it right in the recycle bin. But I don't know.
Well, there was like this big news expose like 6 months ago, I think, like talking about how like mostly those companies, the cities pay them just to get the residents off their backs, and they just throw the shit away sometimes. Like they're not even like going through it and recycling it.
Wait, I don't know what you mean.
But like, well, I don't know what it's like out there, but here now we have like recycle bins that they pick up just like the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And but apparently a good amount of that just ends up getting thrown away. Like they don't even go through a lot of it.
Oh, right.
They just toss it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the idea is, some suspect anyways, it's just a way for the city to get concerned people off their backs. Basically, they're paying them just to like throw it away. It's still getting tossed at the end of the day.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that is probably definitely the case. Out here, well, see, I've read a couple of news stories that like it was maybe around COVID or maybe before COVID, like a lot of the stuff that gets collected to be recycled is actually sold. I don't know how you could sell it. It was shipped to China and they handle it, right? With all their landmass, empty landmass or whatever, they handle it. And I
Like,
don't, but they stopped taking it. They're like, we're not taking this shit anymore. So the landfills are getting full because the recycling stuff, like it's double trash
I
now.
know we were paying some like poorer countries to take our trash, which was pretty despicable.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I remember watching, I don't know what it was, some documentary, and they were like, they showed this guy who makes a living. He goes to the dump full of American trash and he collects the little blister packs that come in like cold medicine boxes,
oh, okay.
where one side is plastic and the other side is foil. He makes a
Mm-hmm.
living by separating those two and selling the foil.
What the hell?
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, why is it made that way? Second of
Right,
all, how come we don't do that? You know, how come it
right,
isn't just
right.
a recyclable thing? And like, what the fuck? Some guy, like, he's picking out through little bits of trash to make money from
Oh my,
us?
oh my God.
Ugh, it's so depressing. That's all I think about. Whenever I see one of those, I'm like, remember that guy whose
It
job
kind
it
of
is?
makes sense though, because we're so high on the hog and so wasteful. Like other people could extract some, I guess I hesitate to call it wealth, but some money from all the shit we're throwing away.
Well, yeah, just that fact that that stupid stuff is worth money somehow.
Right, right.
Like, I threw
Yeah,
one away today. It was fucking cat uh, stress medicine.
right.
Stress medicine for my kitty.
Why
I put it in the trash.
don't you
I
just
did
give them like CBD? Doesn't that work? You don't want to turn your cat into a stoner?
no, I do that. But see, the CBD has it has like a weed smell, and I think they don't like
Oh, it
it.
does?
Yeah, we
I had
have
no
a
idea.
like I have one cat. He'll go for it. Like I get treats and I put them in a little dish, and I have the CBD comes in a dropper. You go boop, boop, boop. I put a bunch of drops.
Uh-huh.
Like I put the whole like a max dosage that it says on those
Mm-hmm.
treats. One cat will eat those. The other ones like they're like, what the fuck? I'm not eating that. Dude, did you see that article? It was ProPublica. I retweeted
Uh-huh.
it. I don't know if you ever see my tweets very often, but
Sometimes.
this is one about climate change,
Mm-hmm.
like a prediction for between 2040 and 2070,
Mm-hmm.
and it begins by showing where agriculture will be able to work. I guess
Oh, is it like how the Gulf Stream is moving, that kind of stuff?
it
Because
was
of the
more.
melted ice caps?
It didn't talk about that. It was
Oh, okay.
talking about heat
Mm-hmm.
and just how the south of the United States, and I guess all, like near the equator, of course, like that's shifting wider, I guess. And so it shows
Yeah,
like where it's in the United States, it focuses on North America and the United States and
sure.
Canada. You know, it has like this kind of color coded map, like where up to now it's been most ideal for humans to
Mm-hmm.
live and do their stuff, you know. And
Yeah.
it's, you know, like it kind of goes into like Appalachia,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas has a ton of agriculture and stuff like that. And they're
Yeah.
like, all of that is going to start to shift northward. Like you won't be able to have the same kind of agriculture in Oklahoma and Texas anymore
Right.
in 20, 30 years from now. That'll have to be done in the Dakotas and Canada.
Oh, okay.
And they'll actually become like those places are actually going to become more amenable to like growing corn and soy than Oklahoma is.
Right.
But
Just
it's
another
like
reason to move to Canada.
I was reading this and I'm like, Leah, in 10 years, do you want to move to Nebraska? You know?
Right.
Because it had every county in the United States and what the predicted impact economically, heat wise. There's this other thing called shit, I can't remember, like the wet light bulb or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
some kind of weird statistic they put together that's combines humidity and heat. Like if it's too humid and hot, like you can't even breathe to work outside and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah.
And they have those kind of statistics. Like they had a 1 to 10, like how like 1 is still going to be a habitable and 10 is going to be awful, you know, for each of these metrics.
Well, you've got to be living in a 10 right now, right?
Actually, LA County was still kind of nice because there's not going to be
Wow.
wildfires here.
Mm-hmm.
There will be sea level rise. It's going to, but that's not, I don't think it's ever going to get up to Van Nuys. I don't know. It might.
in your lifetime.
Right, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about up to 2070. I don't have to worry past that, I guess.
Right, right.
Um, but most of Colorado looked okay. So after I was looking at it, she was like, I don't know about Nebraska. Like, how about Colorado? So I don't know. I might have to contemplate a move to Colorado or here. Here is still probably going to be fine. It's just going to be real hot in Van Nuys or in the area of LA where I live.
Right. But then you have to start thinking about like it's going to become super competitive. Are you going to get like kind of kicked out by the richer people?
Yeah, I mean, if I can sell my house to rich people
Yeah.
for like twice as much as I paid for it, and then move to Colorado or move, so I guess Kansas is always going to be there. It just fucking sucks and it's boring as hell in Kansas. But it looked like eastern Missouri. It's not going to be so
Mm-hmm.
great. And then south of like maybe the bottom third of Kansas and then Oklahoma and Texas, like they're not going to be able to grow stuff the same way there anymore.
Right. I think the Midwest is fine. Obviously, I live here. I just wouldn't want to live in like the sticks. The cities are okay though.
Yeah,
I
cities
think.
seem fine.
I mean, it's not as exciting as living over there, but you're also like pushing 50. What are you gonna go out dancing? Or the one thing I really envy about you living out there is like your winters have got to be relatively mild.
They are.
But I don't know. By 2070, they'll probably be mild here too.
The summers are getting worse than there.
That's hard to imagine. It's really bad here. The humidity is really because the humidity is really high here too, isn't it? Kind of drier over there.
It's dry, but there was so many days that it was 100 last summer or last
Yeah.
fucking last summer and fall, like up to
Hmm.
up to like October and stuff like that. It's super hot still.
Yeah, like here, and at least as far back as I can remember, it's just kind of a running joke around here that we don't really have spring and fall. Like it just goes immediately from you having a jacket on to having to put shorts on.
Yeah.
It's just very bipolar here.
Well, that was kind of here too. Like it was 85 or something today. It's supposed to be 90 tomorrow.
Hmm.
But then last week there were some real cool days. Like it was in the
Yeah.
60s and I needed a space
Yeah,
heater
we
on
had some good
overnight.
ones too.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like the summer kind of things I want to do with my kid. I'm like, we're doing them now because every year I'm like, we'll do it when you get out of school. But then it's 100 degrees and we don't
Yeah.
want it, you know? Can't make it very far in the zoo in 100 degrees. I mean, you can, but it's fucking miserable.
We're just fucked.
Yeah.
Like reading that article, I was like, we're so fucked. And I remember hanging out with my friends in high school, seeing something like that. And
Hmm.
Scott Sexton, my good friend, he was like, we're so fucked. Way back then, no action has been taken since that time, since 1998 or whatever.
Right.
Give me a fucking break.
I think what's tragic or annoying both about it is it's like within our means to at least mitigate it significantly. But we keep talking about like we just need some better technology. The technology isn't the obstacle. The obstacle is as long as there will be money, there's money to be made doing things the wrong way. The people will do it the wrong way, you know, to cut corners to save money. Like they'll keep using the wrong shit. They'll keep burning the oil as long as people will buy it. And, you know,
Well, and people are just regular old Joes too, are just dumb as shit.
right.
Like out here, there was always water crisis shit going on, and
Mm-hmm.
like every summer they're like reduce your water use, and the
Yeah.
water company will introduce rules about like how often you can water your grass,
Mm-hmm.
and there's people who have like these green lawns. This is a desert. Grass
Mm-hmm.
doesn't grow here without water
Right.
from someplace 2,000 miles away.
Right.
And so people want their lawn, and so they have their sprinkler system. They just flip the switch. They water their grass every day, or they don't have to slip a switch. It's like on a timer. Water the grass every day, twice a day, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But now then the water company comes in and is like, no, you
Mm-hmm.
can only water 2 days a week
Mm-hmm.
for 15 minutes or something like that all day long, right? And people are like, what? And like I swear, Leah came home and told me she was listening to NPR and they interviewed some fucking homeowner with a green lawn who was like, it's my, like, no joke, serious person, my God given right to have a green lawn.
Yeah.
Like they brought the fucking Christianity into this.
Right.
Like, no, God put me like, well, where do you think the water comes from? God doesn't put water in the fucking desert.
Right.
Maybe in the Bible that happened, but right now it's their fucking municipal water district stealing it
Mm-hmm.
from somewhere else, you know?
I think
I
there's
don't
been
like,
kind of, I think there's been kind of a sea change out here anyway. Like, I don't think it's true of like really wealthy people with big estates, but it used to be like I'd just go down the street when I was growing up in the 80s, like everybody had a sprinkler on, you know, like those
yep.
automatic ones. I never see sprinklers in people's yards anymore. I think it's like a uncouth. It's you get scolded for it or something if you even thought to do it nowadays. At least in the areas I live in.
Hmm. I would assume that they just don't happen because people have the fucking irrigation system that's with the sprinklers, you know, the ones
Oh,
that
you think they're
are,
doing it all sneaky? Like
well,
it's
just
under.
yeah, it's part of your lawn and part of your house where
Uh
it just
huh.
the little thing pops up and and then it turns off on its own or
Oh,
whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm sure like campuses have that, and maybe richer people have that. I don't think anybody like on my block has something like that,
Oh,
but I don't know.
a lot of like my house even has the infrastructure. I'm sure it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work anymore. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to get rid of it, but
Right.
most of the places out here have that stuff because I think it's kind of like when I was a kid, like, yeah, like that seemed like it was the ultimate luxury, like these things that automatically water your grass and you
Right.
can't see the hose or shit or it's buried, you
Right.
know. But now I think it's just part of like if you get landscaping, you get sod put in,
Yeah.
they've put those pipes under there and it's all set up.
It's crazy.
Maybe back in Kansas, yeah, I could see that not happening in Kansas because actually grass will actually grow and you can plant it and it'll grow. Out here, it won't do it.
It can theoretically be done. I'm not so good at it,
I'm
but
I mean I've learned I fucking hate the yard work that I have to do,
mm-hmm.
but I'm glad I don't have grass. Like we have this drought resistant shit where I have to rake up for this tree. Like if the tree wasn't here, I'd
Mm-hmm.
be sitting pretty. I'd never have to do anything. But I've been pulling weeds and raking and stuff.
Oh, because it's like some kind of inorganic. It's not going to absorb into whatever you have on the ground.
Um,
Because when you want the leaves to break normally to break down, go back into your soil.
right. Yeah, like this tree drops like it has these like it's like a spiny thing that has little tiny leaves that come off of it like a fern almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it drops and the little spiny things they never break down. Like you got to pick those up. And the little tiny leaves they just pile up and they will turn into dirt, but beneath
Yeah.
that I have this sandy stuff that's
Uh-huh.
part of the waterproof lawn or whatever.
Right.
And the longer I leave that, the more weeds get the idea that they can live there because that just having that stuff on there.
How does it handle like erosion? Like I know it doesn't normally rain
Yeah, there
there
isn't
very
any.
much, but that's been changing lately. So would you have to could that start becoming a problem?
Not around here. It's so flat and level
Mm-hmm.
that there isn't like, yeah, when the water really, like the rain really starts running around, it'll kind of move some of that stuff, but it's kind of flat. So it just, mostly the rain will pool up in low spots, and that's all you have a problem with.
Yeah, it was flash flooding on my way to work this morning. That was real fun.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Was there tornadoes? There's tornadoes in Oklahoma.
I didn't hear any sirens go off, but I've lived more or less where I am now my entire life within a 2 mile radius, and we've never had an actual tornado
Oh, really?
touchdown around here. Like
Oh.
further north in Kansas City, like I think they get tornadoes every now and then. For some reason, they don't really hit the city. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or maybe it has something to do with the buildings.
Or they just don't tell you about it.
Well, you never really hear about tornadoes hitting city. Like, I don't know. I don't.
Not yet, anyway. We're so fucked, dude.